A news story here, and it's modern muses. What does it take for a woman to excel in today's world?
Ooh.
And it's 9 inspirational role models who share the secrets of their success. And their ages range from 29 to 76. And
wow.
They interview models, fashion designers, the only CEO of a sort of FTSE 100 group.
Okay.
And they asked
like Vivienne Westwood in the article.
Vivienne Westwood, Annie Lennox, so you've got singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
Erin O'Connor, the model.
Fantastic. Carney King's also in that as well,
Carney
isn't it?
King's in there.
Fabulous.
And they asked them a variety of questions, and I've just picked out just one or two here. And when they were asked what were the obstacles that they had to overcome sort of during their career, over half of them stated shyness and insecurity.
Really?
Which I thought was quite interesting.
Very interesting.
And one of the questions that they
I've
asked...
never suffered from that, have you?
No kidding, Kubi. And another question they asked was, do you think that young women have it harder today than they did when they were young? And all but one replied yes.
Really?
Because of the pressures and the expectations that are put on young women in today's world. So it's a great article. It's really interesting.
Wow. That's fantastic. And we thought we'd put out some of these to ask each other.
That's
so
right.
So just for you guys that are watching Sisterhood, we thought we'd put out some of the key questions that they asked the women in the article, and we would ask each other to find out, kind of how we've been getting on. So
Shall I kick off?
Yeah, go on, Dars, kick off.
Okay, well, I'll ask you.
Oh, thanks.
What's been the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome? Not shyness.
Not shyness. Biggest obstacle, I would say, my injury. I started my career when I was a very young person wanting to be a dancer, and full-time classical ballet school, thought I was going to be Debbie Allen and all the rest of it. And then at 17, I injured my knee. So I was doing a European tour with a group who, as far as I'm concerned, should not be releasing a single today.
Wow.
Yeah, and injured my knee. And so I had to completely change my career path. So I think that was definitely the biggest obstacle. Yeah.
And you're quite young as well. It must have been, even harder to deal with.
It was, Abs. It was. I mean, I was dancing from 3 to 17.
I remember, yeah.
Because you knew when I was young, didn't you?
God, that made me feel too old. Okay.
So yeah, I think getting over that.
And how did you do that? How did you get over that?
The journey is quite interesting, because the choreographer for the tour when I injured my knee, she turned around and said to me, "Kubi, you know what, you can talk for England. Why don't you go into PR?" And at the time I thought, PR, for me, marketing, PR was just a completely different world. And got some work experience for Essence and caught the bug. I loved it.
Wow.
You know what, actually, I can go behind the scenes in the industry that I love and be the puppeteer.
Wow, it just goes to show one door closes and another one opens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's life, I suppose.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Great.
Wow. What other questions are there?
I'll ask Sophie. Has your gender helped or hindered you?
Ooh.
Neither really. I don't think it's anything I've really considered. I was born female,
No,
Not
what I
heard. So I've never really considered it. But when I was reading the article, it was one of the questions that they asked in it, and you definitely do have to go that extra mile. And certainly, I've always worked in business development and sales environments, so quite sort of male-dominated environments. And even though I'm now based in the arts, the theatre I work for is still quite a very male-dominated organisation. And I think that you do slightly have to go that extra mile. But whether that hinders you, I don't know.
I mean, do you think the spotlight's more on you because you are a female?
I don't know if it's more on you. I think it's just... I don't know. You just...
It's a different experience.
It's hard to critique yourself because you don't know. It's not like you could compare what it would be like to be a man. Do you see what I mean? So it's hard to sort of critique.
It is hard to critique it. You're exactly right. But I do think throughout sort of my 10 years in sales and business development that I have learned to shout just that little bit louder and put myself forward a bit more. And I actually think that's helped me in my career, and certainly in that environment that I work in, which is a very sort of high-pressured environment. I think that's been a good thing.
Yes.
So I'd say maybe being a woman's helped me.
Right.
Don't you find though, Soph, especially in business development, when you go in to do a pitch and it's all males, if it's a corporate environment rather than kind of an entertainment or a media environment, but it's, you know, kind of straight corporate, that you feel when you walk in the room that they sometimes wonder, let's see what this is about, and you therefore have to do a little bit extra work right at the beginning to kind of set the stone, set the environment.
I think so. I think certainly when you're younger, I think now I'm older, a lot wiser, that it's people take me a lot more seriously. But I do remember when I first started out, you know, I wasn't taken seriously at all. Young girl, you know, it was quite difficult. Really.
Absolutely. I think that's a good question though. Does it hinder? And what did some of the women in the actual article say? Do we know?
No,
I'm so sorry.
No, they tended to say no, actually, and absolutely not, and they all celebrated being a woman. I think the only person in the article that said that she wished at times she wished she had been a man was Annie Lennox.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I never wish I'd been a man, ever.
No.
I love being a woman.
Yeah.
Only when it's a black tie-do and you're deciding what to wear. So they chuck on the suit, don't they?
It'd be interesting though if you could spend a day in the life of a man. You know, we might all be surprised. Maybe life is easier as a man.
Wasn't there that woman that wrote there was a woman that spent a year as a man and she wrote a book about it. I haven't read it, but I've heard about
Yeah, it
it.
had a lot of surprising results.
Yeah, I think we'd all be shocked.
People have expectations of men.
Absolutely, and preconceptions about women. You know,
Interesting.
Do you want to do an experiment?
No. So Sue, you've got a question you're going to ask Abby, right, babe?
Yes.
Or Abby, do you want to ask Sue a question?
yeah. Who's been your biggest role model, Sue?
The obvious one would be my mum, definitely.
Now you need to tell us who your mum is, Sue.
Yeah, my mum's Nancy Lamb. She's a chef. She started her TV career in 1994, so she did it for quite a while.
Yeah.
She's had a restaurant for 21 years now.
Wow, where's that?
It's in Battersea.
Oh, right, okay.
So she's doing quite well. She came over to the UK from Singapore as a nurse, so she's been working since she was the age of 9 in her father's pork cracker factory, and she's just worked and worked and worked. I mean, she loves work and she loves the socialising and everything.
What has she taught you? What's been the key things that you've kind of taken
hard
away?
work, definitely. Persistence, definitely.
Right.
Like you said before, one door closes, another one opens.
Yes.
So it's taken a while for her to get into TV, but she said that was what she wanted. She got it.
Wow.
Somehow, she's still pursuing it. And she's going to Canada next year.
Wow, amazing.
So I think persistence, determination. She has a very sunny outlook.
Right, quite
She's
bubbly. Yeah,
she generally just gets on with everybody. She's very approachable, and I think people probably see that and they just connect with her.
It's lovely.
So basically, connecting with people, I think that's definitely, she's very good with people.
Right.
And so opportunities just come her way.
Well, absolutely. And they say as well, I mean, I sometimes talk about this to junior members of staff, which is that there's lots of people that could do any one of our jobs. Let's be honest. There's other marketeers in the marketplace, there's other people who own boutiques, but why does someone work with you? One, you deliver, but two, they like you. Because no one wants to do business with someone they just don't like.
Yeah.
So the fact that you mentioned your mum, and I've met your mum, she's infectious with her personality. I think
one of the things I did read in one of my business books that I read is that for someone to be in business means you have to get on with people, and that's so true. You can't be in business and not get people. That's like the number one key ingredient.
Yes. If you've got
because you can't
attitude,
manage your staff.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, and people, I think, always they buy into you before they actually buy into your product, and I find that certainly in fundraising, which is predominantly my role. People buy into you, and then they gradually buy into the product. Your enthusiasm and your infectiousness for the actual product. That you've got mine being a theatre. That's when they start buying into your product, and that's when a long-term relationship can be built. But definitely, you always want to do business with people that
likeable people.
That you like.
Yeah, we've had some of the same customers for since we've opened. 20
wow,
years. That's fantastic.
So seeing you grow up, Sue.